All right, it is time for Local Tunes. Hit it.
Iowa City is the city where nobody sleep. Black and gold and we roll on our enemies. If you living in the city, you know what I mean. You live in Chi-Town. No, man, I see. Nobody wants to hear about Arizona.
All right, you're listening to Local Tunes on KRUI. We're doing a very special show. Do it, Dan. There we go. We're doing a video. We got to clap to get everything all lined up. Action. Oh yeah. So we have a lot of live music in here tonight from 9 to about 9:50. DiMonte and the Bad Assets, and then at 10 I will be speaking with Mike Tallman from Youth Orchestra about their upcoming show at Gabe's, and then about 10:15 we'll have Elizabeth Moen playing some music in studio with us. But here we go right now, DiMonte and the Bad Assets.
So long, go sunny day, makes me feel alright, and that things are going my way. I wanna sing. Cause I feel so alive. Gonna roll into town with my windows down. I'm gonna strut my stuff up on the stage for the people tonight. The men who spend the grind. one I met last week at the carnival. Like the drums in the back of the band, she takes my heart for a ride. She's unlike any other, and she's here tonight.
You were listening to Local Tunes on KRUI, where we specialize in the music made right here in our community with the local musicians. We are live in studio with Dan DiMonte and the Bad Assets guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Joe.
I love doing the full band stuff. We don't do that too much, but it sounds great. And
well, believe it or not, this is not the smallest stage that we've played.
Yeah, you get used to it when you play around a lot.
We've played some of the same
work.
spots, yeah.
But yeah, so this music is like a fusion of jazz and kind of popular music. Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, I met a lot of these guys playing in the jazz program here at the University of Iowa. Dan, Blake, and John were all in big bands with me. And I met Carlo playing around as well. And so it's just sort of, it's very blatantly not jazz music, you know, but we can't help ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, it just kind of like, it comes in by itself.
Yeah, because when you're raised in that tradition, that's your voice, you know. You always kind of, it's a mindset with which you take all kinds of music and life, man.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're writing these songs, do you have something in particular in mind, or are you kind of just writing what comes natural?
I kind of started writing just random things, words that sounded good, and then I started, you know, trying to. It's pretty autobiographical at this point. Kind of depends on the song, so yeah.
And you play trumpet too. Do you think of like a trumpet melody in your head, or do songs usually come with the guitar?
It always depends on what comes first. Sometimes I'll have a horn lick that I want to build around, or often it's chords that I build around, and then I throw melodies over top of that, which to me is actually harder, because if you find a melody that's really good, like melody is everything. Melody is the the rock to the music. You know, like you can have lame chords, but if you have really killing melody, it doesn't matter. That's what people are gonna be whistling. Can't whistle chords, right, boys? Unless you have friends. Let's whistle a chord together. No. So, yeah.
And then, yeah, so like, did what you listened to from the beginning, like bands that you've just listened to your whole life, has that changed how you exactly take your inspiration from? Or
Well, I started this wanting to be Bruce Springsteen, essentially. But that's just because the band originally started with me and then whoever I could get behind me. Mm-hmm. But then I couldn't get rid of these guys, and so we kind of made it our. We are Dan DiMonte and the Bad Assets. You know, these guys are the group. You know, it's not like me plus whoever I can pick up that weekend. You know, mm-hmm. And these guys have all brought their sound to the band. I used to write songs for writing songs, but now I write with Blake on bass in my head, Carlo on drums, Dan and John. So, and I even let them write sometimes too. You'll hear some of that later on the show. So, and
you just did some new recordings, so we'll be hearing those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We're gonna play one for you now, actually.
All right, whenever you're ready, let's hear it.
Beautiful. This song is called "Dance with Her," and it is the A side. We didn't cut any records, but it's the A side of the single release, and you will hear the B side later. And this is, again, Dance with Her. All right. Mm-hmm. Like to fall in the river on an August day and paddle under the bridges to hear the mighty songs they sing. And then I'll float to the ocean summer's fading slowly, and then I'll rise to a rain cloud and let a crowd of strangers hold me. Ooh, all the things I do. To escape the ghost of you. Oh, and I know the answer. Oh, but I'm afraid to dance with her. Like to fly to the mountains where the trees stand tall, with purples, blues, and darker hues lit up by Friday moon. I never felt so small. I'm staring down at the end game. Call. Ooh, I never felt so small, my friends. I never felt so small. Ooh, all the things I do. To escape the ghost of
place with her.
Iowa City is the city where nobody sleep. Black and gold and we roll on our enemies.
Hey, everybody. That's Jonathan Birdsall on the saxophone.
Because we care.
So that last tune sounded really awesome. Like I like how it had like more of a folky vibe, but kind of built up.
Yeah, we were. It's like the first song that didn't have a backbeat in it of ours, basically. Oops. And oopsie daisy. Yeah, and it's definitely more through composed than a lot of the stuff on the first record, which was very improvisation based. And yeah, I mean, I tried to let everybody show off just a little bit. Like, you know, we have vocal harmonies. I get to play my trumpet. Dan gets a little bit of lead stuff here and there. It's like we sort of. And Blake has some cool licks too, and Carlo gets to hit things as well. I don't know. I tried to sort of feature everybody in perfect doses. So.
And I know that you chart your music out. So like, how do you guys improvise at all during the songs, or since they're kind of set in?
Well, I pretty much give Dan and Blake just chord shapes. Majority of the time, just telling them what to. Or chord symbols telling them what to play. But then I'll have distinct licks here and there. Like in that song, you'll hear there are times where I write out most of Jonathan's things because I usually match him with me on trumpet. But there are times when, like when Dan and Jonathan will match up, or Jonathan and the bass will match up, just sort of different figures to kind of pass around that kind of mosaic composing, passing different ideas from part to part throughout the piece. So,
And so Jonathan, Blake, and Carlo and I all played in the Latin jazz band together. Do you guys find that like? So when we talked about like the beats, like beat 4 is really emphasized in Latin music. Do you notice like yourself trying to play in this type of music, that type of? Just shout it out.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the song. So
Depends
like,
on
if the song calls for it, I'll do it. But
Okay.
if it's just like a rock song, sometimes I do it
Everything's
anyways.
clave, man. Clave is everywhere. Jim, if you're out there, clave is everything.
I try and do whatever fits the song.
Oh yeah.
And there are some songs that I blatantly wrote, like I wrote a cha-cha called La Sombra that was written because we were playing a cha-cha. I can't remember what it was called. It's the classic one. Ba 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 da ba da. It's like the definitive cha-cha, but we were playing that, and I was like, oh, I like the cha-cha groove. So, yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to ask what it was like recording with Luke Tweedy, that track.
Luke's studio is pretty darn cool. It was it's always fun going into the studio with these guys because we just basically just like hammer it out. Like we all check and play at the same time. Like most of that track was recorded in at the same time because especially the B-side of the single Tea Trees was it had to be recorded at the same time because between Jonathan nailing his solo and Dan nailing his solo, we have to make sure that we kind of play off of each other live as well. So it'd be weird if we stacked up parts like a lot of bands do.
Are those songs that you've had for a while now that you've wanted to record, are those fairly new?
Dance With Her I wrote probably last fall, but I've been working on that stupid song for even like a year before that. I was already there's some lyrics that I took. So a lot of that song has to do with this road trip I took to Boston mixed with some personal things and just sort of vague. It means something to me, but it's sort of vague enough where it might mean something completely different to somebody else. But and then Tea Trees, you brought that. Yeah, Tea Trees. We've had these songs for a while. It's just always because everybody in this band plays with everybody else in town, so it's kind of hard to get that time. Especially we did it on a weekend, and these guys took time out of their gigging schedules to come and join in. So.
Do these songs develop more like when you're out playing live or maybe in the practice space?
I'll bring them charts, but then, I guess both things happen. Because, I'll have something in my head, but the minute I put the chart in front of them, Carl will have an idea for a different beat, Dan will do something cool on lead, or Blake will do some different fancy jazzy inversion or some crazy things. I don't know what he does. But then as we play live, we sort of figure out, especially during like the jam sections of songs, what sort of works. And especially with Tea Trees, that's a big one that's very improvisationally based, and we know what grooves that we kind of gravitate towards at certain times and more often than not do. So yeah,
cool. Whenever you guys are ready,
live, so
let's hear some more music. What do you got?
We're gonna play something from our first record, the Runner, The Ends, The Space Between, which was released like 2 years ago now, which is crazy to me to think about. This song is about wanting a girl who wanted somebody else. Oh, wait, actually, no. It's about a girl who had somebody else, but she kind of wanted me too.
Oh, changes things.
Baby, if you're out there.
Jim,
if you're out there. Oh, jeez. Sorry, Professor Dreyer. Before things get a little heavy, I gotta get something off of my chest. This might sound just a little crazy. There's something I've got to confess. Something about a girl with a voice all her own. You see, I got one of those myself. I can only get so far playing my guitar alone. I gotta just shout, baby, gotta let it out, 'cause it ain't good for my soul. And you understand what I'm going through. Don't know what I want, but I do what I wanna do. Maybe we should figure out what is happening. I know that you are with another man, but I just wanted you to know that I never found harmony until I So I hope you feel the same way too. But you gotta sift through your soul, 'cause I know that you love another man. But I'll be there with my guitar on the floor, just standing at your door and waiting for you. Understand what I'm going through, don't know what I want, but I do what I wanna do. Maybe we should figure out what's happening. I know that you are with another man, but I just wanted you to know that I never felt harmony until I heard you singing right next to me. Understand what I'm going through, don't know what I want, but I do what I wanna do. Maybe we should figure out what's happening. I know that you are with another man, but I just wanted you to know that I never felt harmony until I heard you singing right next to me.
Oh, yeah, you're listening to Local Tunes. We are here with Dan DiMonte, and we've got the Bad Assets also. We've got Jonathan Birdsall, Blake Shaw, Carlo Kine, and Dan Padley. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, man.
You know that Max and I really like that one.
That could have been a fire sale song. That's pretty fast.
So just like jazz, how there's so many different styles, same with popular music. So you guys don't limit yourself with kind of genres you play.
Yeah, jazz is merely, what was that, Blake?
It's all music, man.
It's all music, man. Jazz is just merely an approach you can take to any kind of music, you know.
And then would you say you write in kind of more forms like jazz way or movements?
I took lessons with Professor Rapson on composition, and he kind of gets you out of your shell and makes you think about different ways to compose. For example, one lesson, the lesson on form, he said, look at this painting and tell me what you see. And he sort of described the different parts of the painting as like the A form, B form, this kind of a little C form. It doesn't always have to be a symmetrical like verse, chorus, bridge, strip down chorus, breakdown chorus, like any pop song, and then everybody claps their hands and
then key change.
Then big key. Oh man. It doesn't always have to do that, you know. And a lot of like Dance with Her is very blatantly like there's. It's just a little different every time. That's another thing that I took away from his lessons is never repeat exactly what you did before. You can sing exactly the same words in the same chords, like have the same chords behind it, but even like production-wise, if you just add in a horn part the second time or different things like that. I like changing the chords up just a little bit every time, but always it needs to feel familiar, yet just a little bit different to keep people interested, but not too far out so they don't skip the track in the first 30 seconds, you know.
And then do you notice a different style the way you play when you read directly from sheet music, or you maybe go out and play a gig and are just kind of playing from memory?
You mean with my own music or just in general?
Yeah, with your own music.
With my own music, I try and get everything memorized as best as I can. I'll notice, especially with lyrics. I can't remember if I've ever had. I've had lyrics on stage before for like covers and things that sometimes we're on the road and we just decide, hey, let's just play this song tonight. We're gonna practice it, but we'll just do it and see what happens. And so I'll have lyrics on stage, and it's just like my stage presence immediately just because
you're thinking of that the whole time.
You're not delivering the lyrics. The lyrics are off to the side, and you're delivering them to your mouth instead of there just being that lack of a middleman where it just goes straight to the audience. You know, it's sort of sometimes your ability to sell it gets lost if you're too focused on you. You'd be able to focus on the audience and let them blah, 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 blah.
And then, so like when you play older songs, are those ones more ingrained in your brain, or are those ones more you forget about them because you wrote them a long time ago?
Yeah, the latter. We played the song I wrote in Spanish, La Sombra, and like the last two. I didn't realize this. I was talking to Emily Snyder of Goosetown today, and she pointed out that the last two gigs we've played, I've forgotten the words to La Sombra.
They are in Spanish, though.
They are in Spanish, to be fair, but I wrote that song a long time ago, and I still, and even some of the words in my native language still. It's just because we don't practice those songs. These new songs we've been doing, we have those hammered out, and they sound pretty great. But yeah, the old songs you just forget about sometimes. So
Cool. Well, let's hear some more music whenever you're ready. What do you got for us next?
Well, how much time we got, Joe?
2 or 3 more.
2 or 3 more? All right, yeah, let's do the last 3, hammer them out. These last 3 songs, first 2 are not recorded, but they will be on our record, which we will drop eventually. And then the last song will be Tea Trees, which is one that Mr. Padley wrote. And it's truly a blessing to have him in the band, I'll tell you. And he's my roommate. Dan, I forgot to load the dishwasher, by the way. Laundries. I put away my laundry. Actually, I have some on my bed, though. Sorry.
Play music.
Let's see. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It stopped with a touch. It came as a luxury. It stayed as a crutch. We asked for a mask and a masquerade to flaunt it. And they gave us what we wanted. I want to see the sights from the comfort of my things ain't so bad. Now heroines in the high schools, but where are all the heroes? I wanna spend my life with you, woman, but I don't wanna impose. I'm alone and stoned with my hand on my phone, just listening to Hollywood dry cough. Just watching someone's perfect life takes the edge off.
want a machine to tell me what it means to have a soul. I want to change the world from a window where grassy knoll. There's a cop with a family to feed who thinks he better stick to formation. And a woman with a sign between the father line and the secrets of salvation. As her rifles click, she never felt so alive. And I close my eyes to see that things ain't so bad. It's not at all your fault. This town has left me jaded now, she said to me. And she stepped onto an Amtrak to the first city. It left me broken, moping in my corduroys. I take the Ike to Ryan 57, 80, 30, which returns me to the most boring town in all of Illinois. Yeah, the most boring town in all of Illinois. Tonight I think I'll get a drink, and tomorrow, well, I guess I'll get one too. I'll take a break for church on Sunday, say another prayer for change, and then I'll buy another brew. It's not at all your fault. It's the people that don't agree with us. They said to me as I flipped on through the channels of my television screen, in the most boring town in all of Illinois. In the postal service anymore. She stated in the parcel that I received the other day, but I find a letter sends a little soul. I wish you'd come and find me, but in case you don't, I wanted to remind you there are no boring towns, only boring people. Yeah, there are no boring towns, only boring people.
Awesome. You were listening to Local Tunes on KRUI. We're here with Dan DiMonte and the Bad Assets. Guys, thanks for being here. That one was very jammy. I feel like that would be a great one like at a festival or something.
Put in a good word.
I've always thought that like jazz would be great for the festival scene. Like Blake. Well, the influence comes. And when you and Grace with Duology Plus 2 played at Yacht Club with us that night, I thought that was the perfect vibe for. So.
Well, anybody who considers himself just an artist of one single art form, there are a lot of influences from a lot of places with all these musicians. Even, jazz takes from so much and so much takes from jazz. It's not that it takes it. These other genres willingly give to each other. A lot of love.
Oh, yeah. So I've been playing gigs with you guys for a while at the Mill, at the Yacht Club. And you guys, are you still playing Iowa City and then out and about?
Yeah, we'll be out touring for the single that we released. We're playing the Mill this Thursday with Goosetown from Cedar Falls and Iowa City based. Blake plays with them. We'll also be doing a super band with them where we'll be playing some of each other's songs. You heard it here first. Exclusive. KRUI exclusive. Exclusive. Did I say that? And then Lewis Knutson from the Quad Cities. He's a very talented singer-songwriter type as well. And then we're going on tour from there, hitting Dubuque the next day, Cedar Rapids that Sunday, and check out our website and all that stuff for all the tour dates. So www.dandimontemusic.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Let's hear one more.
This last song is written by Mr. Dan Padley. It is entitled Tea Trees.
Iowa City is the city where nobody sleep. Black and gold and we roll on our enemies. If you living in the city, you know what I mean. You live in Dallas.